So conclusion. Well done Volkswagen for not being able to adjust your own doors. Welcome to my T5 camper. This is a van conversion, a 2015 Volkswagen Transporter. Ever since I owned it, I've had a problem closing the sliding door. When it was under warranty, I took it into Volkswagen and they played around with it, made some adjustments, but it's still not been right. So I decided to have a look at it myself, and there's some adjustments that can be done that hopefully will sort out the issue. Also, one of the common faults I've come across, which I'll get into in a minute, but firstly I'll just show you how it closes and how much you have to slam it to get it to shut properly. You notice you just close it and the back end just never closes. Now, I've had other vans and other cars with sliding doors, and they're always much easier to shut. There you go, it's shut. But what I did notice is just before it latches, going by the trim line there, you can see that it doesn't line up. And it's even worse on the back. So you can see it's dropped a long way at the back. And when you push it in, you can see it's lifting up. And this is where the design fault comes in. It's a common problem. It's not as bad as that new, but you've got the latch on the back, and there's a lot of threads. Let me get it so you can see. There's a lot of threads in between here. Now that part there should be mating with the top there. There shouldn't be a gap, and the threads should be protruding through. So the T5 roller door is made up of a number of components. You got the back roller that goes in the channel. You got the rear latch. As you can see, there's a number of rollers up in there. And that goes around the corner nicely. That latches onto this bracket here. We've also got an upper roller that goes into a channel along there. We've got an upper guide, a lower guide, and then we've got the electrical connector in the centre. There is a lower roller, a guide that goes in the track along here. So the upper and lower guides go into here and up there, with the electrical connector in the middle. I need to get an Allen key in there and just wind that back up again, so that should lift the back end up. So the adjustments on the door, you've got an adjustment on the top that puts the top in and out. You can adjust the guides as well, in and out and up and down. And also you've got the rear latch that you can adjust up and down. There is an adjustment here, but I do believe that should be screwed all the way up. And if the door's sagging, it suggests that there's a problem with the rollers and that they'll need to be replaced. So at the back end here, it's using a 6mm Allen key, although this one's a socket. Be careful not to mark any of the bodywork. So that's now with the back end wound up. and it's pretty close to being level where it should be. Still doesn't latch though. You hear that knocking? See if we can get that improved. So I've actually got 2 screws loose at the moment. That one I've tightened up. This one I've tightened up. But I don't know if you can see how much I've moved it up just here. So let's see if that's improved things. That's a bit closer. I'll move it a bit further. So I've now got the height right going in. So the next thing to do is just loosen this off slightly and just close the door, let it centralise itself, and then you can tighten it up wherever it sits. And so if we close the door now, it will centralise itself. And we'll tighten it there. The door latch, when it came in, it was actually coming in just a little bit too low just here. Now hopefully you can see in there the pin. So the way you adjust that is this latch here needs to be moved up. Now you really should put some witness marks all the way around it, but as you'll see when you loosen it off, you can see where the witness marks actually are from where you started. So you've always got a good starting point to go back to. So already it was at its furthest out. So what I'm going to do is just move it up a little bit and tighten up in that position. And we'll see if that's improved it. So what I found was that was actually a little bit too high. So I brought it down, but it's still higher than it was before. But we definitely have an improvement. It really doesn't have to be slammed like it did before. It's an awful lot better. It's never ever been like that before, so I'm quite happy. Just going to adjust this guide so that it pulls the door in a little bit tighter, because when it rains, you can see along here there's actually a little bit of moisture gets through the seal, which is a bit worrying. So hopefully if I pull the door in a little bit tighter, it'll be better. So it goes into that striker plate there. So you can see the amount I've moved. You can just see the witness mark there. I've probably only moved it out about 1 millimetre all the way down. But you know what? It's now catching there. Just see it catching on the bottom just there and just there. So the last bit I did to pull the door in at the top was just undo these 2 screws, and there's a little bit of adjustment here. And everything else seems correct. As you can see when I shut the door. It shuts very quietly, it shuts very easily. It's never shut that easy before. So I'm really happy with that. So conclusion. Well done Volkswagen for not being able to adjust your own doors. So the adjustments I had to make an adjustment to this bracket, also at the top, and the rear rollers needed to be tightened to lift the back of the door up. And an adjustment was made to this plate here just to lift the front end of the door. I did make a small adjustment to this here just to make sure that the door was pulled in, because there was a slight leak coming across the top of the door, and it should just make sure that this seal here and this seal here is just that little bit tighter. So time will tell if that'll be the case. When there was rain, I would often find there's little pools of water on this table here. Obviously I don't want to ruin the wood on here.